Blessings, everyone. Many, many miracle signs and wonders. I wanted to come on here. I'm going to try to make this quick but detailed because I want you all to understand how important it is for you to understand your walk with God and for you to understand that, hey, if I'm the only one hearing God, that's okay. People are going to tell you and try to make you feel bad because they don't understand the journey or your walk with God. They're going to say things as who called you, or what is your lineage, and that means who trained you. I don't know you. Who are you? You just popped up and now you got a title and you ain't went through this and you ain't went through this. If God knew that all these people were about to fall, this is why he allowed COVID to come. Now, why would God send us to most of these pastors and apostles if their heart is not right and he know he's about to make them fall? Now, it's sad that a lot of us depend solely on man. And I can say this because when I first started walking with God, I depended on every word that came out of a man's mouth when I started walking with him. And that's because I didn't understand God. I didn't know, I wasn't raised and born into the church, so I didn't have that foundation. So I was a student, and we're supposed to stay students every day. Even when you're an apostle and a prophet, you're supposed to stay a student. The thing is when the teacher don't know or can't receive from the student, that's when there's a problem. Now, these people are too busy trying to build up their ministries and their congregations, and they're trying to fill their pockets instead of training us like they're supposed to. And then when they do train us, they train us into the bare minimum and make us to have to want to beg them just to give us more. So they're only able to give you what's inside of them. And God is not going to send us to certain people knowing that their heart ain't right and all they doing is trying to play church. Even when people try to leave these ministries, they talk them into not leaving. They try to make a reason to why this is happening and why this is happening and why that is happening just so that they can stay. You know you heard God. God has to equip you. One person does not have everything you need. And what these people can't understand is how we are having the power that took them 20 years to get. And that's because they were stuck trying to play church and not knowing why God sent them there and for how long God sent them there. And some people stayed in that place because they were stubborn. They were rebellious. They were disobedient. Every time God tried to teach them something new or tell them to leave, they stayed. They rebuked the enemy, and God said, my sheep know my voice. So a lot of people are, you have to listen. God is sending people to tell you, you're a prophet, you're a pastor, you're an apostle. You have to believe that. I wish I would have received it when God was sending the people to tell me this, because all I did was delay my walk. But it's okay. You have to get in a place that if people are saying that you are a prophet, that means God has put it on them that you are a prophet. Most likely you have already heard it. It just made you uncomfortable because you're trying to realize, how am I a prophet? I can't do what they're doing. You in training. God will be, look, you will be going through a test and God will be training you at the same time. So why God can't say you a prophet or an apostle or a pastor while training you at the same time? And it's so funny that we go to these where you don't have a certification, you hadn't been ordained. God ordained me. God called me, and he have not found you worthy to teach me. He have not found anyone worthy to train me. So what happens is you get sent to certain little churches or certain people, because the church is the body. So you all have to stop looking that you all are not being trained just because you're not in a building. God will send you to a woman of God that will teach you how to pray. God will send you to a man of God that will teach you how to be, that will teach you consistency and persistency. He will train you in the prophetic, or he will train you how to operate in your gift, or he'll teach you your identity. God will send you to these people. You're not always sent to a building. Stop looking for the building. So for those of you who have been in training, you know your process. You know God has sent you from here to there and everywhere. I have had leaders, every leader God has sent me to, and that's because God allowed them to see what was inside of me, and I didn't know what was inside of me. I was still learning. And they wanted me to be a part of their ministry, but God was like, I'm thinking I'm finna be a part of their ministry. I didn't know that I'm going to be equipped because I didn't know anything about the church foundational, side. I didn't know how things went. So I'm just rolling with the flow. I'm like, yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of something. And it's working out, and they seem genuine. But you have to watch the people who make God look good and sound good. You got to watch the people that play church, that pretend to be this and pretend to love you, but they hand always out. Or they always want you to beg them to teach you something or beg them to show you something. And when God is telling you to leave, they're trying to beg you to stay. You got to watch those people. Because if we're being equipped to go out and bring people in, see, we're supposed to be getting trained and sent out. You're supposed to grow and go. This is why I made a post the other day saying we don't have to be mad at each other to disconnect. We don't have to be in an argument or a fight. If God said it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go. If God won't let me submit to you, then he won't let me submit to you. Y'all have to be okay that just because your process was not their process. Just because it didn't take you 20 years. And see, this is where the older people in the church can't realize. It took us 15, 20 years. We have to do this with God. We had to do that. We had to go through this. We had to go through that. And then here we come. It's taking us barely a couple years. And they're trying to figure out, where is your lineage? Who called you? I don't know who you are. Like God can't be building you up in the back or something. Like he can't be sending you to people who ain't got no name. Everybody don't desire a mass ministry. And everybody is not called to the mega ministry. Some people got small ministries around here. So today, I need you to believe who God is calling you to be. If he's saying you're a prophet, if he's saying you're an apostle, if he's saying you're a pastor, you stick to that. You hold on to that. Because the enemy is going to use any person, place, or thing to plant a seed of discord, of fear, of discouragement, of anguish. He's going to cause, he wants to plant this seed so that you don't find out your identity. And believe me, we all fall short. He uses everyone. It's the people in the church that you got to watch who he using. Because these the people that will try to put it in Jesus. Now, I had people tell me that you can't leave my church until God tell me you can leave. The control. And I understand some of these pastors. Some of these people have been waiting their turn. And then when God starts sending people who are anointed, and it looks like their ministry is about to take off, that brings joy and excitement to this pastor because they've been waiting so long. But I think they forget that the ministry is a revolving door. And God has to trust you with a lot of people. And just because you draw people in just based upon money or what you're doing and what you should know, God, lead the people to me, God, that's for me. Don't send me the counterfeits. Don't send me the people who gonna charge, who gonna bring discord. Send me the people who literally after your heart, who are just like me, who doesn't understand this thing, but they're walking with you and they're trusting you and they got faith in you. Because all our journeys is not the same. We're supposed to go be disciples. We're supposed to do what Jesus did. Jesus didn't just sit in a building all day. He went out, he recruited, he brought back. The thing is, we're trying to start ministries when everybody has a ministry inside of them. We talk about God didn't call us to the prophetic. We're just intercessors. I thought we all was made in God's image. I thought we all could do what God did. So why are we limiting the power that's inside of us? Why are we only saying we're intercessors when God is saying, no, you may be a prophetic intercessor. You might be an apostolic intercessor. Why are we limiting ourselves if we made in his image? If we can do what he did? So I wanted to come on here and encourage you all who are not raised in the church. And God has called you. And he's sending people who are receiving you as what God called you, the prophet. Don't delay your journey because it's hard for you to understand his process. If God wants to move you in a year to be an apostle because you're obedient and he can trust you and you learning what you need to learn, it don't take 12 years for people to learn what the school wanted to teach you in 12 years. Some people graduate early. Maybe you graduating early and God wants to promote you early. So don't look at what the outside people are doing because remember, Even Jericho fell. All of them falling right now. So if God know they finna fall, why would he trust them to even have us up under them trying to build a church? Stop playing. Trust who God is calling you to be. You are a prophet. You are a pastor. You are a minister. And to God sending that person to ordain you, you are who God said you are.